Evening, folks. Welcome to Speaking in Your Basement. As you can see, another late one. When I was a kid, I don't know, 16-ish or so, sometime in high school, my parents got a cat. And I'm guessing they got her from, I don't know what they called it, the Pound or the Humane Society or whatever. And she was pregnant. She was basically wild. They brought her home, and we had this old house that had an external, like, you'd have to go outside of the main house to get to the door that went into the basement. And she was just covered in fleas. And I remember going down to the basement, and it was just, you just have like the sea of fleas, try to swarm up onto you. And over time, at first she wouldn't have anything to do with any of us. She would, if we went down there, she'd hide underneath something or try to get away from us any way she could. They set up a little, I think, a towel for her to lay on down there, and of course, a little food bowl and water bowl to keep her fed. And she was basically wild, did not want to have anything to do with us. We called her Princess, or maybe her name, I don't know, maybe the name of the cat was already Princess when we got her, but what was interesting was that over time, she gradually became much more friendly. Now, she was never like a lap cat or anything like that. The cat that'd just be super friendly. She was mostly an outdoor cat. She didn't really like being inside. She got weird when she was inside. But if you went outside and you sat down and you're just patient, she'd like ease her way up to you. She'd walk up and get a little closer and get a little closer. And then when she got in real close proximity of you, within like a foot, you could put your hand out and then she'd start rubbing up against your hand. That, which isn't, again, anything like the friendliest cat I've ever seen, but it was a far sight removed from when we first got her. And it was interesting to me that just spending time around her, just enough time. I'm not like the cat whisperer or anything. I just happened to be around her long enough, and I liked cats. And just that level of patience and being there, over time, it changed things. It changed the relationship. The situation completely changed just from being there and the passage of time. And I found that to be the case with speaking, too. I didn't do it in a very directed way with speaking either. You can be a lot more intelligent with this than I was if you choose to. But I took a college class in it. I was nervous about it there. And then later there was chances to speak here and there. And I went back to college again, tried to actually finish this time. And at this point, it was a technical university, and they had a lot of presentations in virtually all the classes. Virtually every project involved a presentation, and most classes had a project. And I quickly noticed I was less uncomfortable with speaking than the other people. One, like I was super comfortable with it, but I realized there was a lot of guys that were more technically apt than I was. They'd pour themselves into the technical side of it if I would just take the lead when it was time to give the presentation. I didn't mind doing that at all. So I got more experience there. And a few other things happened here and there. And eventually I found my way into Toastmasters. And I'd already developed a lot of ability, not completely conscious of it because I wasn't paying attention, because I didn't really have a plan. I just kept showing up in the environment and getting better. And of course, Toastmasters took that even further. But you can do a lot of this on your own. If you just show up, if you just do what we first started talking about, just the daily practice, whatever you want your daily practice to be, just speaking out loud for a couple of minutes, reading one of your favorite authors out loud, doing whatever it is, preferably for 5 minutes, but as long as you get in 1 minute a day, and stick with it, be consistent with it, you're showing up for the environment again and again and again. And there won't be any overnight transformation. But over time, you'll get more comfortable. You'll see things you couldn't see before. Beautiful things will happen because you chose to continue to show up. over time. Now, one of the amazing things that will happen is satisfaction. A deeper satisfaction that you chose something for you and you followed through consistently for you. There's no feeling like that. So, it is late again. If you haven't got your practice in, get it in. Go knock it out. 5 minutes. 1 minute if it has to be. But at least 1 minute, preferably 5. Get it done and call it a night. I'm Ben Langley. Thanks very much for spending some time with me today. We will talk again soon.